Hello everybody, Dave here, and as you can see the face app is live. I need to trim this fucker. Okay, so it's the week after the week before, and if you can hear what sounds like a diesel engine, it's the farmer trimming his bush, and he's just turned his tractor off. No, my luck, probably come in there in a minute. Anyway, okay, yeah, so last week I had the revelation or the reveal of the unit without the masking tape on it, and the realization that there is still much work to be done on the unit. Which it's been bugging me all week really, because I wasn't planning on having to do any of this, but I can't leave it. I can't not do it now. Now I've got here today, and I'm actually looking over the unit now. I've managed to get the unit turned around, so the front is facing me with more light on it. And I'm sort of having a look at, okay, how much have I got to do? Because as I mentioned, the front edges, a few of the edges had got sort of lips of varnish, which is going to need sanding back a bit and then potentially touching up. And I mentioned that I'd sanded it a bit last week, and I did. And I'm looking at it, and there's a lot that I'm going to have to do here. And I must admit, I'm probably more pissed off now looking at it than I was last week, because had I spotted this last week, not last week, if I'd have spotted this at the start, then I could have given myself a clear, defined inner border. And to be honest, I'm actually sort of contemplating that now, because what I'm thinking is where the door, in the middle door, sort of goes in. Obviously, when that is open, well, when it's closed, it sits within said unit, and when it's open, obviously it's visible. But I'm thinking the inner part where the door would sit would look better if that was also varnished, even though it wasn't before. Now I am actually thinking, or at least I was thinking earlier today, about the possibility of putting something in the unit on the bottom, whether it be an additional piece of wood, or some kind of liner. I'm not sure about liner. I mean, if I was going to put a piece of wood, then I could just treat the wood that's in here, but what I'm thinking is, if it's a separate piece of wood, it'd be so much easier to prep, and treat and fit, than trying to sand and treat inside the unit. Much harder to do within the enclosed space. Now, something I might be able to do is perhaps put a proper border around the inner edge of the door, but then for the drawers, not do a proper border. So I'll flip the camera around so that I can show you this here. So this is what the door butts up to. So what I'm thinking is, this bit would look better treated, and to be honest, I'm gonna have to sand this back anyway, and treat this a bit. So this is what I'm contemplating. If I've got to treat this a bit, would I be better off doing it properly, right? And then I could masking tape across here and have myself a proper border, and then do up that side and potentially underneath there. Now the lips, see this lip here, this is varnish, I was hoping that it was masking tape, but it isn't, it is varnish. And that's where the masking tape has just come up to the edge too well, so it's kind of, the tape has sat in, the varnish is sat in there, so I'm going to have to sand that back, and then make sure that once I've done so, the front is finished properly. And I'm going to have to do that on all of the openings, which I've got to say is going to bug me, but also I need to, this front edge here is visible, so I'm going to need to make sure, oh no, this bit, I did this bit quite well-ish, apart from there, so I need to touch up all of this on the front here. And if I hadn't have taken the masking tape off, I wouldn't have known to do that. So again, like I said last week, although I'm pissed off with myself, it comes with learning. I've learned something, which is blatantly fucking obvious now, but it's one of those things. If you don't know, you don't know, and you don't know until you do know. And it's part of making mistakes. People make mistakes and they either learn from them and they don't, or they don't. Now, if I was to do another unit in 5 years' time and I made the same mistake, you could say I haven't learned from my mistakes, or just simply forgot. But yeah, so looking at this, there's quite a bit of work to do, but having said that, I'm not too concerned. Well, I am, but it's given me time to do a little bit of research. It's also given me time, it gave me the week to see what the finish was like on the couple of extra clear coats that I've put on, and to be honest, it's looking pretty good, the colour's pretty good, and I have decided, you know what, it does look like it does need one more coat, to be fair. But the whole of the base of the unit needs a very fine sanding. It needs a fine sanding before that extra coat. So this is one of the things that I was fighting with last week, that if it needed the extra coat, it'd need sanding down, and I didn't sand it down before the previous coat, so really it needs sanding down. But if I'm going to sand it down, it needs to have another coat on it, really. So I was kind of arguing with myself. So the fact that I need to do this touching up, yes, it's pissed me off, yes, it's annoying, but yes, I've learned something. But also, because I've got to do this touching up, it means I've got to do minor bits of varnishing, I've got to do bits of sanding, and I've got to do bits of clear coating on the touching up. So the fact that I'm going to need to sand the whole rest of the unit, give it a fine sand, and then put another coat on, I'm okay with that. Also, it will look much better. Now, one of the reasons that it needs sanding down is if I feel the top of the top, it is lovely and smooth. Now, if I feel the sides, it's not bad, but it's got a few little rough bits, but that's because it hasn't been sanded down. So it needs to be sanded down before I put another coat of varnish on it. So today I'm going to be trying to crack on with some of this fiddly stuff. It's going to be a pain in the backside, it's going to be time consuming, it's going to be a little fiddly, but it should mean that I can just sit here and do bits as best I can. So that's what I'm going to try and do. And I am thinking, as I'm talking, yeah, masking tape the inner part of the door would be a good idea. I have also been contemplating whether I take, because this has taken longer, this is now going to make me, it's going to take even longer than I was expecting. It puts back the drawers. So I'm contemplating taking some varnish back to mine so that I can do the some of the drawers at mine, because they're just sitting there in the way at the moment doing nothing. I don't want to bring them here and have them doing nothing, because as the weather's turning it could get quite cold in here and it could affect the wood. At least this wood here is treated, it's protected. So yeah, but I'm in two minds about that. And one of the reasons that I'm in two minds is for the last month, 2 months, I've mentioned a few times I've been struggling to get motivated, but I've been feeling rough as fuck. So when I've been at home, I've either been barely awake, or asleep, or feeling like shit, and not really able. I wouldn't feel able or be able to actually do it. So it's one of those things with coming here. It gives me something to try and focus on and prepare for at least a week. Whereas if I try doing those draws at home, okay, yeah, I could do like a little bit here and there, but it could mean that when I'm back here, I'm not able to do anything at all because I've done too much in a week. But anyway, I'm going to try and crack on with this, because I'm going to mask it. I've just had a horrible thought. I saw the masking tape at my house and thought, I'm not going to bother taking that because it's shit. But also, I don't need it. And now I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, okay, I need some masking tape. Have I got any here? I don't know. I'm going to have to go and find out. Right, anyway, I'm going to get cracked on. So, today is what is known as one of those fucking days. Bit of a kick in the teeth, this one today. Because, just to let you know, I finished sanding down and effectively prepping the area for doing the work on, but with every little bit that I've been prepping, it's in my face. You fuck this up, you fuck this up, and you fuck this bit up as well. And I just hope to God, not that I believe in God, but I just hope that, excuse me, itchy nose, that my touching up will work, because I'm not overly confident of it. Okay, I was able to do a bit of a repair on the backing piece, but this is a lot. And I'm actually going to try and take pictures of each opening, so I can see how bad it is now, and then hopefully if it's better afterwards. But yeah, I'm not feeling overly confident on it, because this is a test of my abilities, and my abilities are limited. Also, as previously mentioned on another video, to put stain on clear varnish means a lot of prep work. So I've effectively had to sand, and I've only done it gently, so I don't know if it's going to work, a lot of the edges to make sure that I can get a blended connection, rather than two clear different situations. And not only that, spent God knows how long looking around for masking tape, couldn't fucking find it. I was searching for ages. I even got to a point where I was like, I wonder if I put it in my car. So I went to check in my car, and I got some gloves in there and some knee pads in there. And the gloves, I picked them up, and I was like, hang on, these are fucking soaked. Why are these soaked? The knee pads were soaked. I was like, what the fuck? Nothing else in the boot's wet. But the knee pads and the gloves were soaked. So then I spent a bit of time having a look at the car, see if I can see anywhere that water's been coming in, but no, everything's dry other than the gloves and the knee pads. So that's baffled me. Now I know we've had a lot of heavy rain over the last few days. That's the thought. Actually, I didn't look at the underneath of the boot lid. Might have to have a look at that, because if it's been dripping from the boot lid onto the that would explain it. So I'm going to need to go and have a look for them. So didn't find the masking tape in the car, but found a wet pair of gloves and a wet set of knee pads. Anyway, eventually gave up on looking for the knee pads and decided, right, I need to grab a couple of tubs so that I can... So I've got 2 tins of varnish, one is stained, one is almost empty. So I want to actually tip that out so I can use that stain rather than opening a brand new tin for some tiny touch-ups. So yeah, I went off looking for some plastic tubs, and what did I find? The fucking masking tape. So at least I found the masking tape, and I've got the plastic tubs, and I've got the varnish, and I've got a wet pair of gloves. But today has definitely been building as one of those days of maybe I should just go home and go to fucking bed. But even then I'd probably get that fucking wrong and fuck that up. So yeah, tough day today. I'm hungry as well, and I wanted to go to the shop, excuse me, on my way here to pick up a cob. But there's no parking spaces, so I've not done that. I have got a couple of snacks with me, so I think I might have to have one of them before I make a start on trying to touch this up. I'm just trying to work out whether I'm going to do the inner door bit first, which I might do, or the drawers. I think I'll do the inner door bit. That's going to use the most amount of varnish to begin with. That's going to need a bit longer to dry. The rest of it is just touching up. So I'm going to crack on with that and take some pictures now, and hopefully things are going to improve. Okay, update time. I've got some varnishing done, and the temperature's dropped. It's really cold now, isn't it? I don't know what temperature it is, but I can feel it. I'm cold, and it's been raining for about 3 hours, something stupid like that, continuously. But I think I'm done for today. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, I am getting cold. My hands aren't working very well. Not working properly at all. And I might have said one. Well, that's 1 and 2, whatever. B, I need to let the stain that I've put on today cure. So basically I need to let it completely dry, and rather than sit here freezing my arse off for 3 or 4 hours, I'm going to call it a day. Because it's possible while I've been doing it, I know I have not done the best possible job that I could have done, but I have done the best possible job that I could have done today. And they are 2 very different things. So I didn't want to continue on anymore either, because it's not perfect. Or not that I'm after perfection, but there's a few bits that I'm not happy with. So rather than, so I've seen something that might need drying off a little bit. Rather than continue on and end up with more stuff I'm not happy with, I'm going to stop. Now, I did take pictures of all of the areas pre-doing this, and I'm going to take pictures of them all again. I will show them on the camera as well, on video as well in a minute, but I'm going to take pictures again. Holy cow. Okay, that's weird. Either I have got a new scratch, or a scar that I got when I was about 15 years old that I haven't seen for fucking years has reappeared in the cold. I'm trying to think if one of the dogs scratched me, I don't know. But I know, I went for a slide tackle when I was a kid. Won the ball, passed the ball, looked down, leg bleeding. What the fuck? There was a ripped up Coke can sticking out of the mud. So when I slid, I'd slid over that. It wasn't a bad call. I'd be surprised if it's that. Anyway, that just baffled me. What was I saying? Yes, so I've taken pictures. I am going to take pictures again. I will show it on the video. Now, when I show you this, bear in mind that the bits that I've done, majority of it is not going to be visible. So there is a definite separation between bit that's varnished, bit that's not. But as I said, that won't be seen, or it shouldn't be seen. But it's the sort of the lips and the edges of the wood that would get seen, which is why I've done what I've done today. Now I'm hoping, so when I show this, it's not going to look fabulous, but it does look better, or at least it does to me. Now it's possible that, so C, reason for stopping now, is it's possible that I won't need to actually put any more stain on it. And if that's the case, woohoo, brilliant. Because I've still got sanding to do. Now, I wouldn't necessarily look at putting clear coat varnish on everything that I've done today, but when it comes to having to sand the rest of the base of the unit, I might as well sand what I've done today, so that when I apply the clear coat to the rest of the base of the unit, I can apply it to everything that I've done today. So hopefully that should really do the trick. I mean, I have had to punish this unit a bit, but obviously I have had to sand additional bits down and stuff like that, and yeah, but hopefully for the overall aesthetic it will look a lot better. Anyway, I'm going to flip the camera. Okay, who's drawn a fucking face, or is it a love art on the unit? It won't zoom in on it, it's too close. Okay, anyway, told you there'd be a clear line. So yes, I know it looks a bit odd, but if I was going to put an inner piece of wood in there, it would come up to this. But anyway, now on the sides I haven't gone as clean cut. On this side I didn't need to, but you'll notice here, you might not really notice much, but this is where it's still worn obviously, but it was much more visible. It just didn't look right at all. So yeah, now I have gone and tried to get in that front edge a bit more, and obviously I've gone up and around each of the sides, trying to make sure that whatever is on the leading edge, although I mean I know this still looks a bit sort of rough and tatty here, but it's old battered wood, and if I'd have sanded all of this down to smooth, I'd end up with an absolutely enormous gap between door and wood. So it's got notches on its posts, but the aim of what I'm doing today, I mean, okay, looking at this bit, see, I've perhaps gone a little, yeah, I've left too much of a drip of varnish on there, which I'm not happy about, but this can sand down. So it's one of the reasons why I'm stopping today, because I have made a few errors with it, so I know I'm not on top form, but it does look a lot better. I've even done all down this front edge as well. So when the drawers are in it, it should look pretty fucking good. So yeah, right. So you can see why I said it doesn't look fantastic, but that's because it is only for covering that leading edge, apart from the bit within the door. So yeah, I'm really starting to get cold now, so I'm gonna have to think about getting going. I hope my mum hasn't left the dogs in the garden, because if she has, they're going to be fucking soaked and they're going to jump all over me. They did that last week. Yeah, so all things considered, I've got more done today than I actually thought I would be able to get done, so I can't complain. I had a problem, I tried to deal with it. We'll find out next week how well I've dealt with it. So yeah. But, I mean, when I think about it, when I think of all the things that could have gone wrong with this unit so far, that's not the worst of what could have happened. I wouldn't be surprised if excuse me. I wouldn't be surprised if I hit a few more roadblocks before I'm done. So yeah, I'm tired, hurting. So I think it's time for me to make a move. I really want, well, I know I've just said I've got more done than I expected, which is true, but I wanted to get so much more done today. I was hoping to be able to get the door done and blah, but I still don't want to do the door until the base unit is finished, because I don't want it ending up being a different colour. And it's similar with the drawers. I mean, okay, yeah, I could do them at home, but if I did them at home and put 2-3 coats of stain on it and whatever, and then brought them here and all of the drawers are darker than the unit, it's not going to look right. Now, I'm not saying I'm looking for perfection and for it all to be exactly the same colour. That's not going to happen. But I'd like it to be as close as possible. So, yeah, I need to, I suppose, have a bit of patience on that one. Right, okay. I'm going to fuck off. Have a good one, folks.